Hello and welcome. My name is Victoria Boyer and I am joined today with Gina Marie McGuire, President and co-founder of Gina Marie Skincare. In addition to being a business owner and entrepreneur, Gina Marie is a wife and mother, esthetician, brand and product developer, formulator, public speaker, an industry educator, and an editorial contributor for professional publications. A woman of many talents.
Well, thank you, Victoria. I am thrilled to be here with you today, and I am most humbled. When you read all of that, it's just kind of interesting to look back at your life, my life, and see the things that I've been able to accomplish. So, again, thrilled to be with you today. Thank you.
Of course. Well, I am excited to be here with you because just like yourself, there are so many facets to Gina Marie. And when I'm saying Gina Marie, I'm talking about Gina Marie, the company, which makes your business more than a skincare brand.
Yes, and it can be a little confusing. Gina Marie is my own name is spelled two words, and the company is one word. So more often than not, it gets confusing, and they interlap each other. But I guess we are all one and the same.
Absolutely. Well, with so many topics to cover today, let's start with something easy.
Sounds good.
Family. So, how long have you been married and how many kids do you have?
So family, starting with that, I would say is the biggest priority in my life. I grew up in the family business. My mother started Gina Marie over 45 years ago, and now I am involved, obviously, and we are now 3 generations. I've been married for over 32 years, and I have 4 wonderful children, 2 girls, 2 boys. And so it's 3 generations now, and that is something I'm incredibly proud of. All of my children, including my husband as well, have been intricately involved in the growth of Gina Marie and have supported me every step of the way. So family is key, and that's a great way to describe who we are. We are family owned, and it's all about that.
3 generations in business, a family business for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So, can you tell us how you got started in the aesthetic industry, and have you always had a passion for it?
So, to answer the first question, I got started just by being brought up in the business, right? As I mentioned, my mother started the Gina Marie line, and I was about 12 years old when it went into existence. But leading up to that, I have always grown up in the business to some capacity. As a young girl, I worked in the business, whether it be answering phones, shipping product, working in our skin centers, what have you. So I guess I've always been in it. I not necessarily got started. And the second question, which is a little trickier, have I always had a passion for aesthetics and skincare? And the answer probably would be no. It was something that I just did and knew, but my passion lied more in the education end of things. And it wasn't until I went to college to actually be an elementary ed teacher that I had to do my first communication speech. And back then I was petrified to speak publicly. So my first speech was on skin. And it was at that moment, although I was very, very afraid in front of all of the students, it was at that moment that I realized, wait, I know this. There was a lot more to learn. I knew it, I was comfortable with it, and I felt that shift.
Yeah.
And so it was then that I then went to my mother and said, Mom, I think I should go into the family business.
There you go.
So the passion maybe was always underlying, but it definitely developed more as I grew.
Yeah. A question I've always wanted to ask is, how does it feel having a skincare line and brand named after you?
So again, I'm humbled, but it always felt normal because that's all that I knew, and when you know what you know, right? But as I've gotten older, as I've had my own children, and had the privilege of working alongside my mother for so many years as my mentor, I am extremely honored to carry the name. And so it was, I was the only girl.
Yeah.
But she could have chosen many other names,
Sure.
and she chose mine. So I'm very blessed.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is strange.
Well,
At
yeah.
times it is strange. I'll have people say, "Are you the Gina Marie?" And that always feels
Yeah,
a
the
little-
Gina Marie.
But very, very blessed.
So Gina Marie started in 1978 with one product, which I believe was the liquid loofah cleanser.
That is correct.
So how many products are in the line currently?
So the liquid loofah cleanser, our original, from over 45 years, and it is still the same today as it was then, and that's something I'm really proud of as well, right?
Yeah.
But to answer your question, Gina Marie has only 12 products in its entire line, and out of those 12, there are 3 award-winning facial masks and treatment body masks. So very simple skincare line.
Yeah, 12 products in the line seems pretty unique for a skincare brand, considering that the average skincare brand has 50 products, and some over 100.
That is true.
Yeah, so it makes, I think when there's so many products, it makes it hard to know what to use and when to use it. So does your brand work for all skin types and conditions? And
It does. So when my mother originally formulated Gina Marie, and this is something that I have continued to do, is to make a product line that could be used for all ages. And truly, for my own children, all 4 of them, the liquid loofah cleanser is what I use to take care of my little babies.
yeah.
So it was formulated and developed with the intention that the whole family could use it, of all ages. It was just how you used it. And that's really with every product in our line. It's not, can you use it, it's more the customization of how to use it and the versatility of it.
Okay, so depending on what's going on with that individual, you customize
Absolutely.
how it's used. So
Yes.
does your line work for body treatments as well, or is it just for face?
It does, so it's that versatility that I'm talking about. My mother, and most certainly myself, feel that, first of all, skin is an organ. It's the largest uninterrupted organ of the body, so it's not necessary to have all of these different products to care for one organ of the body. Although in marketing, that makes sense, right?
Right.
But we have chosen to take a more science-based approach to caring for skin and to keep it simple. So every product in the Gina Marie line can be used from head to toe.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on, kind of touched on it, but specialty products like eye creams and because there's just so many out there.
There are so many out there, and I always refer to that as the noise in the industry. There is a lot of noise out there, a lot of confusion because of so many products and the marketing that goes behind that. As far as eye creams, at least with our own line, we are able to combat any eye issues that an individual may have, whether it be trying to get rid of the fine lines, dark circles, that sort of thing. It's customizing it, and it's how we use it. So my own thoughts are, if we can do that with less products, why not?
Right.
It's already confusing for clients to know when to use something and when not to use something. And I also feel that this sets our clients up for success. When they are having to pick and choose and not quite sure when to use it, how to use it, that creates the confusion. And so I feel strongly that simplifying skincare, keeping it science-based, is going to set our clients up for success with results, and it's going to set our partnerships up for success. It's going to set the esthetician and the licensed professionals to succeed in this industry when we can simplify it for our client.
Yeah.
And I could just even add one more point to that. In today's world, we are overwhelmed on many different aspects in life, right?
Truly.
And so if, as a licensed professional, we can bring simplicity to our clients' daily skincare regimen, why would we not do that?
Exactly. We overcomplicate things, don't we?
We do, and we all want to not overcomplicate it, but sometimes we just cannot help ourselves.
Yes.
But we are dedicated to keeping it simple. And I'll also interject here that simple does not mean that it doesn't work or that it's not advanced or effective. Actually, it's quite opposite of that. Simple, the skin is going to respond when you do what it requires.
Yes, and that kind of leads me to, out of the 12 products that you do have, several have been nominated and are award winning.
It's true. So
Yeah.
our three treatment masks have all won Esthetician's Choice Awards, and again, very proud of that. They're very versatile. It's not just for the face, it's for the body as well, and that is the beauty, right? Is that we're not having to bring more products in the treatment room to get the results. We can just creatively create the treatments for our clients and customize them.
Yes.
According to their needs.
Well, what an accomplishment with those awards. You must be very
Thank
proud.
you, I am.
So who carries your products?
So we have a variety of different professionals that represent Gina Marie, and that starts with from salons to spas, med spas, from barbershops, and men's spas as well.
Okay.
So anyone in the skin industry most certainly can represent us.
Yeah, so you mentioned men's, so that kind of brings me to another facet of your business, which is GM Revolution. So after so many years in the skincare business, what inspired you to create a men's line?
So I, men's skincare was always in the back burner, right? Men really used whatever their wife gave them or just off of the shelf, whether it be a bar soap, what have you. And we were seeing the changes with men being more concerned about the health of their skin, their overall health. And so we felt about 5 years ago or so that it was time to introduce the idea of normalizing men's skincare.
Yeah.
And we still have a ways to go with that. But I most certainly felt this was the time to bring in a specialized professional men's line.
Yeah, it makes sense. So your men's line, how many products does that have in its line? Because I know that your women's line has 12, so how about your men's line?
So the men's line, and it's funny when you say women's line because it still sounds a little strange to me, although that is how we market it now. Because again, it was always just for everyone.
Yes.
So the packaging and all of that, is geared more towards men with the GM Revolution. We only have 5 products in the entire line. Again, it's all about simple. I am dedicated to that philosophy of simplifying, and out of those 5, 4 are for daily use, and the other one is a facial mask or body treatment mask for men. So again, easy, and taking the confusion away.
Yeah. So I've heard you talk a lot about philosophies in your teaching and with your team. So what is your philosophy when it comes to your company and skincare, and why do you refer to your brands as holistic?
So philosophy, as you said, that's something that I feel strongly about in the industry. I think it's imperative that professionals find their philosophy in caring for skin. The Gina Marie and GM Revolution philosophy is once again to put the science of skin back into skincare. And when we do that, that's where holistic ties in. So holistic, right now that can be a trendy word, but truly we are always treating holistically. Because going back to the science of skin is the largest uninterrupted organ of the body, which means that anything you do on the outside is going to affect internally.
Right.
That's the whole. There is no beginning, no end. So we consider ourselves a holistic brand, both brands, because we're always looking at skin, treating skin from the organ, from the body system. And all of that is connected, no matter what your philosophy is. So to just kind of bring it full circle, the philosophy would be to simplify, to get rid of the confusion, and to keep things science-based. Science never changes.
Okay. Yeah,
Ideas
do change, yes.
And we always have to be open to that, but the science, is solid. So.
Well, let's pivot to another philosophy that I've seen out there that's really kind of been on the rise, And that's medical aesthetics.
Absolutely, yes.
So what are your thoughts on this? Do you see the two philosophies kind of merging or working together in any way?
I do, and at first, and it's been around, medi spas and medical aesthetics is definitely on the rise and been around for a while.
Yes.
It most certainly is growing. I do think it goes hand in hand. See, this is my opinion, it's in the marketing of skincare that we compartmentalize all of these philosophies. But no matter what approach you take to caring for skin, you're caring for the largest organ of the body.
Yes.
So it's always the science. So most certainly, holistic and medical go hand in hand because you're affecting the whole. Whether that be before care, after care, during, what have you, there's always room for that. It should not just be a one and done type thing, not just a procedure.
Yeah.
It should be, once again, the whole, right?
It's really getting that skin healthy.
Right.
And keeping it healthy.
Yes, and you can't have healthy skin without a healthy inside.
Yes.
And that ties into nutrition, sleep, a variety of different things, stress. So no matter what, we can get quick results. But as professionals, our goal should be to get lasting results and improving the overall health of skin.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on more invasive, like medical type procedures and the long-term effects on the skin?
So I've given this a lot of talk, a lot of thought, and a lot of talk as well. I feel that there's a place for everything. And these are personal decisions we all have to make. I am concerned that we don't necessarily know the full effects of these invasive type procedures. It will be interesting 10 years from now, maybe sooner, maybe a little longer, as I see younger and younger people getting these procedures. It is concerning to me.
Yeah.
As we're still developing. And so I don't know. Like I said, it is not for me to judge whether someone should or should not have a procedure. We do things for different reasons.
Sure.
Some health reasons, some beauty reasons. But it will be interesting as time goes on to see what are the effects of these advanced procedures, particularly amongst a younger generation.
Yeah. Well, only time will tell.
Time will tell, yes. But with that said, I can still piggyback by saying the healthier that skin is, if that client is taking care of their skin at home,
Yeah.
the organ has a chance to regenerate and to try to maintain its health. Okay, before and after.
Yeah, that makes sense. So how do you decide when it is time to make a new product, and better yet, how do you decide and figure out which ingredients to use?
So again, growing up in the skin business, I had the advantage of listening to my mother, sitting in on conversations and then meetings as I grew older, learning about chemistry, learning about ingredients and formulations. I am more likely to not bring in a new product, but to reformulate a new product, if that makes sense. And we've done that over the years with a few of ours. And how do I decide that? I decide it when I hear of a new ingredient or ingredients and say, wait, can this make the product better? Instead of bringing in something new, and there's only so many products a person can put on their skin, I am convinced that if we can remove the confusion, we can create loyalty with clients and be more successful. But as far as reformulating it, it's looking to say, what can these ingredients do or ingredient, and how can I make this particular product that I have even better? And if after discussing it with our chemist, if I find that to be the case, then most certainly I'm going to do that. So I'm always listening, I'm always researching, but I am not quick to hurry up and bring something out.
That makes sense.
Yes, I stick to the science. But when there's a time, most certainly I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Do you have a particular hero product?
I don't. I don't. I feel that every Gina Marie product, because of the small size of our line,
Mm-hmm.
every product has been developed with a specific function. So there's not necessarily a hero product. They all complement each other and they all pair together to be able to get the results we're looking for.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That.
And the versatility. So it's that versatility, and that's where the professional comes in,
Mm-hmm.
and the education. But no, I don't have a hero product. I have ingredients I get excited over as technology and innovation comes into our industry. But every product is formulated to work together.
So what are some of those ingredients that you get excited for? Do you have any powerhouse ingredients that?
I do. I have several, but bakuchiol is one of them. Bakuchiol, and it took me a while on this one. It is a plant-based, plant-derived alternative to retinol.
Okay.
And our chemist came to me and said, listen, Gina, I want you to look at this ingredient. And sent me a plethora of information on it. And I read and read and read and researched and talked. And it was probably a couple years before I made the decision. So we had one of our products is our nutrient serum. It's our anti-aging serum, but has more functions than that. I looked at that and said, okay, wait. If bakuchiol is an alternative to retinol, and retinol definitely has benefits, but bakuchiol, it's a fun word to say.
It's a very fun word to say.
If bakuchiol can help with fine lines, can help with hyperpigmentation, can help with acne, why wouldn't I choose that? And so I took the nutrient serum that we had, and then I added the bakuchiol to it. In addition, then I added peptides to it and some green tea leaf extract, and we have a more advanced, more powerful product, but still the same foundation.
Does bakuchiol have the light sensitivity that
No,
retinol
that
has?
is the beautiful part. It has no light sensitivity, and it has it doesn't create dryness.
Oh,
So
yeah.
all ages can use it, as even in the acne and different regions, right? They can use this product with this powerful ingredient in there.
Yeah.
And that's all natural, right? So that brings us to the holistic end. Anytime we can treat holistically, we're going to get better results.
Definitely all tied together.
It does tie together for sure.
Yes. So something else that I feel makes Gina Marie unique and isn't a common theme amongst other skincare brands is that you have a cosmetic line. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
We do. So another division of Gina Marie. It is a lot. So back in the day when my mother was formulating Gina Marie and had the product line in place, she said, wait, we're missing cosmetics. And I would say that she's not necessarily, or was not necessarily a cosmetic person, a makeup person, and nor am I. Very simple. But we knew women wore makeup. Yeah. So it didn't make sense to have an effective professional skincare line and then send the client to competitors, number one, or to other products that are going to cause problems to the skin. Let's say if a client is using a foundation that's not water-based, there's a very, very good chance that the skin is going to react negatively to that, whether it be enlarged pores, acne, lines and wrinkles. So it made no sense. It was counterproductive.
Right.
So we said, let's bring in a cosmetic line, make it simple. And it's unusual for the aesthetic industry and cosmetics. Usually they separate it.
Yeah.
But I feel just as my mother did, it's important. It's important that we be the providers for our clients' skin health.
Yeah.
We don't want to send them elsewhere, and we most certainly don't want to cause problems to the skin.
Right. It all goes on the skin, right?
It does. And then they look elsewhere.
They do.
They do. Trying to find the product, trying to find the professional to solve it. So I feel this sets our professionals up for success, and most certainly it sets the clients up for success of having healthy skin.
Yeah. So you make for the go-to for complete skin health.
Absolutely.
Yes. So like you, I grew up in the beauty industry, and I have worked in experienced many facets of it over the past 20 plus years. Throughout my time, I've seen trends come and go. So do you feel that something like medical aesthetics is a trend?
I think it's a trend right now. I think it's a trend right now,
Mhm.
but I think it's a trend that's going to last.
Yeah.
Okay, kind of like holistic.
Mm-hmm.
That has come and ebbed and flowed like crazy, that word. But I think medical aesthetics is here to stay, but I think it's very trendy right now.
Yes. And where do we find so many of our trends? On social media.
Absolutely.
So there's so much information that's coming from all angles and sources on social media, and it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming for the consumer, but also for the professional to navigate, because they're having clients come in that have seen the newest, shiny object, the product that comes out. So do you have any advice on how to move through kind of the noise of all of that?
So I do, and we need social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a business owner, a skincare company, social media is a good thing, but it creates the confusion.
Yes.
It does. And so I think it goes full circle, going back to that philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's imperative that the esthetician, the skin specialist know, first of all, find their philosophy and know it, stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we will never feel like we know enough. We will never feel like we can give enough, because there's always something new. And that is not to say that we should not always be listening, like I said earlier, and being open to things. But when we are all over the place and trying to provide everything that's popular and trendy, we lose our credibility.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to be held to a higher standard. That's why we have a license. So to me, social media has its place.
Yes.
And it has a good place.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that it gets confusing. The other thing is, the problem I see is that we have two voices when it comes to aesthetics. We have the voice of the licensed professional who went to school, who studied, who learned, and then we have the voice of influencers.
Right.
We have the voice of influencers who have opinions and ideas, and this crosses over to the clientele, and to the professional. So this is this confusion, whether it be a lot of products, whether it be philosophies. So I think we have to tread lightly.
Yeah.
And I think that we have to stick, once again, Victoria, right back to the science of skin.
Mm-hmm.
We stick to that, you can make a good decision. When you deviate from that, we open ourselves up to confusion and loss of credibility.
Yeah. So really the professional needs to know their stuff inside and out, so that they can defluence the influencer, right?
That's right. That's a great, and that's popular now too, the de-influencing. But I'm happy to see that, although I hope it doesn't become trendy.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Because we do need to de-influence. It should be us, the experts, the licensed professionals, that are speaking the truth.
Yes.
That's one of our values for Gina Marie. We speak the truth. And I think that we need to do more of that in a gentle, kind way, and simple. Yeah. And then it makes sense, because really it is all common sense. We know most of this. We just confuse it with a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Me with my noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the aesthetic industry has grown immensely, and it continues to evolve. So I'm certain these trends will definitely keep coming.
Absolutely.
But knowing the fundamentals of skin and communicating that properly is really, it's going to get you the win every time.
It is, and I also feel, back to the medical aesthetics,
Yes.
we are elevating ourselves a little more, because it's requiring the esthetician to know more about the science.
Right.
So there is a plus to that, very much so. And from the beginning of time, there's always been trends, there's always been new things. It's part of the industry. It's the touching, it's the feeling, it's the smelling. Our clients do it, and we do it as licensed individuals. However, we have to always remember we're the experts. And we have to act like it, right?
Yes.
We have to act like it.
Yes. So as I've been, kind of out and visiting spas, I feel that there can sometimes be a little bit of a disconnect between the treatment room and the overall understanding of skin and health.
Yes.
But I believe that is where you fill in the gap. So can you tell me a little bit more about your education division of your company, Continuing Education, as well as the Aesthetic Skincare Institute?
Sure. So this is probably one of the divisions that I am most passionate about, and that's education. As I said in the beginning, I always wanted to teach, and it comes naturally to me. And so we have our continuing education division, which we are approved sponsors in the state of Illinois for CE hours and license renewal. So I'm very proud of that. I believe we are the only out of the CE providers that offer as many home study courses. So we started way back when continuing education became something. So we offer a variety of home study courses on all different subjects, as well as we teach in person. And we teach via Zoom and webinars now, so that has expanded as well. As far as the Aesthetic Skincare Institute,
Yes.
that is like my new baby, if you will. I love the teaching of continuing ed, but I wanted something. I wanted to be able to offer something more advanced to elevate our industry beyond CE hours. Okay, and so here at our headquarters, we also have our classroom and training center here, and we're located in Mokina, Illinois. But we have the advantage of doing things online and in person, and bringing hands-on workshops, classes, different subject matters, whether it be from business to machines to what have you, to the anatomy of skin, to be able to bring these more intimate classes to the professional, so we can fill in the gaps wherever they're missing and need help, need that assistance to advance. So they both go hand in hand, but the Aesthetic Skincare Institute is a little more customizable, if you will, than the continuing education. But with both entities, we're dedicated. Our motto is, your education is our priority. And that will always be. That's the foundation of who we are, is education.
Just like you said, education definitely is the foundation.
Yes.
And I've had the opportunity to be a part of your classes and your trainings, and so I feel that I have an objective point of view on this.
And if I guess if someone were to ask me, Gina Marie, what is one word that would describe who your company is? It would be education. It always has been. Back in the day when my mother started the company, someone would have to go through a skin class to learn about a consumer, just to understand the organ in a small way before they were allowed to purchase the Gina Marie product. So I grew up with this. I grew up with this mindset.
Yes.
And to this day, I'm very grateful for it. And being 3 generations, I even have the opportunity to see my children have a very good understanding of the whole and the understanding of skin. So if we teach what we know,
right,
and we live what we've been taught, right?
Yeah.
So I feel that I've had a great advantage in aesthetics, is that I learned so early on and had a great mentor.
That's amazing. So this education that we've been talking about leads me to our next topic, and that is the Ultimate Pro Partnership.
Yes.
So the two go hand in hand because, as we've said, education is the main priority of Gina Marie. Something that makes you and your company extremely authentic is your emphasis on growth and self-improvement. The combination of the resources and the levels of coaching that you offer your partners is what makes you and your company radically different than other professional skincare brands. So let's talk about the custom personalized training that you offer to your spa partners.
Sure. So, when you said authentic, that word, it's a strong word. And that is something, I grew up with, that was very important to my mother, is that we never lost who we were. And I have tried to follow in those footsteps of being very authentic and to speak the truth to anyone I come in contact with, but particularly when we're talking about skin. The personalization, and as I've aged, and also in continuing education, I have the advantage of seeing professionals after they graduate.
Right.
So I see where we are weak in our industry, and I see the strengths of our industry. I feel that if I can personalize and customize the education and the partnership to help our partners to become successful, it's going to work.
Yeah.
Anyone selling a product will tell you how good it is. That's their job.
They better.
And my job as a skin manufacturer and as somebody who partners with other professionals is to teach them how to use my product in the treatment room and out of the treatment room. But that's not what makes, to me, a real partner. What makes a real partner is being able to say, how can I help you?
Yeah.
Where are you struggling? How can I help you? As a company, what can we do for you? And to help you and your clients.
So even like in a business aspect, someone comes to you and you'll help them with business advice.
Absolutely, or we have a whole team in place that can help fill in those gaps, right?
Yeah.
And so business is a good one. We know skin, many of us, but we don't know the business end of it.
Sure.
So we're here to try to make it whole.
Yeah.
To make your business whole, to make the partnership whole. So as long as I can, I am committed to having that personal relationship with our partners, and to be there, to be accessible to them, because they represent me.
Yeah.
And I think, Victoria, something that's very different is that our product line carries my name.
So to reiterate, I know that you had mentioned how important it was that the people who represent you have this connection to you because of your name being on the brand, Gina Marie. So can you expand upon that a little bit?
Sure. So, I mean, it is unusual, okay? And when you asked me earlier, how do I feel about someone, my name being the product name? It's unusual. That's not always, but most of the time, especially for a professional line. It represents my mother's legacy. It represents my legacy to my children. It's me. And that's maybe the family owned.
Right.
It's my baby, it's our baby, and so those that represent me, it is imperative that they be trained properly, that we see things the same way, not exactly, because we all have our gifts and talents to bring to our own businesses and to our clients, but that they share very much the same philosophy of that we are affecting the whole. And so I am never looking to be everywhere and anywhere. As far as the product line and the person. I'm not. I'm looking to have our product represented and to never lose its authenticity.
Yeah.
That's really it. That's the best way to describe how I feel. Yeah. So it's got to be the right fit. I understand if a partner, a spa, or whoever is not going to be successful if I'm not helping them, or as successful as they should be. I also understand that I cannot succeed as a company. My team cannot succeed if our partners are not succeeding. So I have made it a #1 priority to be sure that we are available through customer service, through whatever they need to help them every step along the way.
And that's why it's a partnership, right? It's got to work for both.
It does. That is a true partnership to me.
Gina Marie was nominated for Best Value Brand, and I can think of a few reasons why, but why do you think that you were nominated?
Well, it's an honor. I mean, it was very exciting to get that nomination. I think there's a couple reasons, or several reasons. First of all, it goes back to over 45 years ago, right? That our product line is simple. So that gives value to a professional line because there's very few that are very simple out there. So I think the simplicity of our line, I also think the simplicity paired with the effectiveness. Again, we can't forget about that part. The effectiveness, that it actually has a positive, immediate effect, each product, on the skin. So that gives value to the professional. and to the brand as a whole. I also think, and this is where I feel humble and proud, is that the authentic nature of our company. We bring that to our partnerships. It's important, as I said before, those representing me are me. They're part of me. They're part of my legacy, my mother's legacy. So I feel, besides being financially smart,
Very financially smart.
yes, so the professional doesn't need all of these products sitting on their shelves. Do you know what I mean? And having that inventory, and that's always a concern in the industry, of having retail inventory. We minimize that. And we also minimize the product inventory in the treatment room because of the versatility.
Yes.
Because we can use it all over,
Yes.
meaning from the treatment mask to each individual product. So I think that is what gives value to our brand, and I do believe very strongly that that was a very dominant factor in us being chosen for that nomination.
Yes, and that also trickles down to their clients, the end user.
Absolutely.
You know, they don't have to have as much, and it's a little bit better on there.
It does, and alongside of that, I have also dedicated, when it comes to the home care, to retail, to keeping the line affordable. So it sets everyone up for success.
Yes.
It doesn't limit us to just a select group of people. Of all ages, going back to 45 years ago, all ages can utilize the benefits of Gina Marie and GM Revolution. I work very hard at choosing the finest ingredients, but keeping the line affordable. And that helps, obviously, financially smart for the clients, and most certainly financially smart for our partners.
Yes.
So that would be my...
Yes, and that's exactly why. So we've learned a lot about you and all of the facets of your business today, and you really are more than a skincare brand.
Thank you, Victoria. I pride myself in that, and it really was a pleasure being here today to be able to share our story with you and with others. It's a good story. It's a story that I'm very proud of, and that I hope will carry on for a very long time.
Yes, so that leads me to my final question for you today. When you look back at over 45 years, what would you like your legacy to be?
Well, it's a little hard. I could even get teary over that one. I would say my legacy, a good skincare brand. I mean, obviously, we want to stay true to that. But I really want my legacy to be that I inspired others to be better, to be whole, to use a common sense approach, and that will pass on to many. Do you know what I mean? Through our partnerships, through clients, that is what I would like to be remembered for, that I made a difference beyond just providing a really good skincare product and products, but that we were more than that. We were more than a skincare brand, and time will tell.
Yes. Well, I know that you're going to do that.
Thank you so